What's up, guys? Welcome to BitCast episode 42 for the week of October 8th, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Jake Martin. Joining me this week, we have the one and only Officer Cam, otherwise known as Cameron Betts.
How's it going, guys? Glad to be back.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh,
even though you didn't even play the main topic of the show.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
So
I'm a very busy person. As you can see, I'm very professionally dressed. So obviously, I have a lot going on in my life.
You really do.
Not really.
Dude, I have a lot going on in my life.
You do, man.
Yeah. So before we jump into, well, actually, you know what? Yeah. Some fun things happened this week. The most fun thing being that I'm unemployed right now. I'm jobless. I'm a stay-at-home dad. And my son is my golden doodle.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be full time doing that for the rest of my life. Pretty excited about it. But yeah, this is actually kind of fun because now I can only focus on video games and podcasting and maybe going on a run every now and then.
Yeah,
if I feel like
exercise is definitely a positive.
Feel like being proactive and being good for myself, but I haven't run today, so.
Well, whenever I was unemployed at the beginning of the year for 2 months, I didn't exercise at all. So, any running that you do, you're beating the hell out of me for, 2 months.
Stop, man.
But you got time. You got time.
Well, this is day one of unemployment, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see where I am next week. Please, somebody help me.
Land a job on Monday. You're making like $150K a year, and you're like, pfft.
Well, guys.
Call bellhops and laugh in their faces.
Shh. No, I have a major respect for the company that I came from. So before that, though, I just wanted to apologize for this late episode. Normally, I'd be recording Monday or Sunday and posting on Tuesday, but like I said, it's been a bit more exciting week than normal. So the news of the week, obviously, is what we're talking about today, and then our main topic is Battlefront 2. The beta was out, and they extended it to Wednesday this week, so I got a chance to play it. Cameron did not. However, we both played the first one, didn't love it.
Correct.
And so we are here to give some impressions. He's watched a ton of gameplay, and I've just played the game, so we'll have two kind of unique viewpoints on that. So that's the show. But before we jump into the news, I would be remiss if I didn't mention to everyone to please leave a review if you are a fan of the show or a friend. It means a lot, and you'll get a chance to have it read off on the show. Pretty much anybody that leaves a review, I will absolutely read it off on the show. So please do that, and then also write in topics to us at bitcast@bitbloggist.com, where your topic will be featured on the show, and we'll break it down bit by bit. Drink of the show today is coffee. It is a Starbucks Pike Place roast, done the classic drip style.
Absolutely.
So
have you ever been to Pike Place?
I have
in Seattle.
I actually have. Yes,
yeah.
I have. Gonna be honest though, not a big fan of Starbucks. Don't love Starbucks, but sometimes it's what you have.
I love the Bucks. Gotta love the Bucks, right? Michael Scott.
I love the Bucks,
but I've been to Pike Place too, and honestly, the original Starbucks not that exciting. It's kind of just, it's a cool front to the building, but it's like the inside of any other Starbucks with about 200 cardboard boxes stacked up on the wall. So
why there's so many boxes?
Because they sell so much coffee. People go there to buy, from the original Starbucks.
This is
the original Starbucks coffee.
Actually brewed
They're
in
not
Pike
grinding
Place.
it there. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, roasted. This is actually roasted in Pike Place.
Bullshit.
I guess probably some weird factory out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But anyways, Cameron, before we go in the news, also, what have you been playing? If you have been playing anything.
So obviously we're both stuck on Destiny 2 right now. I know you were kind of on the fence about it last podcast we had. We discussed quite a bit of it, but I'm playing that mostly, and I'm still stuck on SimCity Build It on my phone.
Oh
man.
I'm
goodness. Still addicted to that game.
Cameron,
I waste way too much time at work playing that game.
I don't know if I want you on my show anymore. You're off. You're off the show. You're getting cut out of the money too that we make on this podcast. So which is $0.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Just as broke as I've always been.
For me, still playing through some of the SNES classic games. A lot of Mario RPG right now, which is really great.
How is that? Yeah,
it's so good, man. Just because again, it's something that I grew up with, so it's even more special to play those games again. But really, beyond that, just Destiny 2.
Yeah,
and even I didn't play anything until today. Like I waited a whole week again because every Tuesday it resets all of your stuff so you can get
Right.
like actual gear. So it's kind of interesting. Like if you get to those goals before the weekends, like I don't feel incentivized to play the game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where I'm like, well,
Done everything I can do.
I've done all the challenges, and me playing right now is pretty useless. So I'm just not going to play, and I don't think I'm high enough light level to take on the raid yet. So
Gotcha.
I've been kind of.
What's the recommend? I'm sure Brock's told you. But what's the
I
recommended?
think it's 300.
300.
So that's what they recommend.
Gotcha.
But just like always, let's jump into the news of the week.
Shout out to whoever has a white Honda Civic that parks in Warehouse Road, downtown Chattanooga parking lot. Saw the BitBloggist sticker. Started to take a picture, but then realized that might not be a great idea because I'm sure people don't want their license plates.
This person
being...
probably thinks I'm just stalking them.
Right. But still very cool. So shout out to them on behalf of
thank
Jake.
you so much for that. Yeah, and if you want a sticker, maybe that'll be a big enough incentive for anybody that actually writes in a topic. I'll send you some swag.
Yeah,
and by swag, it's literally just a sticker.
Cool stickers, though.
Yeah, they're the best stickers. I actually have one on my phone right now if you want to see
you?
it. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at that. See it? Pretty cool, right? So, news of the week. I listed these off in no particular order, so feel free to jump in whenever you want. But Overwatch Halloween event has started. October 10th was the official day that it starts, and I wanted to put this on there because, I think Destiny does something like this too for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
But I love when game developers do this and they have seasonal events. It gives you reason to go back in, and specifically with Overwatch, there's a bunch of cool skins you can get if you play enough. But the only thing with that I don't like that I wanted to talk about was this like loot box kind of scenario where if you don't get the skins, a lot of people, I know Matt Entman does this, like if he doesn't get the skin he was trying to get for the season, he'll just spend some money and try to get some more loot boxes before the event's over. Which is smart.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get the money.
That's how they get you.
They're going to want this. And if they don't get it, like they make it so hard to get those skins so that like at the end of the month, like, well, shit, I guess I got to spend $20 and hopefully I'll get one.
Is it really $20?
Yeah, it depends how much you want to spend. It's like, I think it's like 5, 10, 15, 20 or something like that.
I mean, I've spent another $20 on SimCity Build It. So,
doesn't
we're
that
not all perfect.
Doesn't that suck? Like there are no real world. There's nothing to show for that, like in the real world. Like
absolutely nothing.
It's like I just spent $20 on something that
on a completely fake city that pretty much no one but my girlfriend will ever see.
No human's really ever going to see this. Yeah. Like I'm not going to just take my PS4 to someone's house and say, "Look at my skins."
What's on my phone? Well,
I could share it.
I got you.
For like PS4 stuff though. It's even worse. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I've done it before too. Don't worry, I've done it. I did it for I think Pokemon Go. I spent some money on some stuff.
Yeah.
Not a proud moment. It's never like a proud moment when you spend money on in-game currency.
Oh no! I feel terrible about myself every time I do it.
Damn it!
I want it so bad. Like that British expansion building.
It's like I don't need this, but I'm gonna do it. Man, who's gonna know except for me because it's on my phone? It's fine. Someone calls you out. Hey, what's this $20 charge on your account? It's like,
what if your bank started calling you every time you had like a stupid transaction and just like like trying to be your mom, call you? Yeah, $20 on SimCity Build It. Was that really responsible, Cameron? Is that really what you? This is where you're going with your life right now.
If you continue to make these purchases, I don't know if we want you on our bank account anymore.
You're a humongous loser.
You're out. Okay.
And we're keeping all your money.
Oh man. So. Either way, Overwatch is a cool game, but despite the feelings that we have towards in-game purchases, but kind of going with that, actually, I have another story that's on the back page over here. Kind of out of order, actually. I should have ordered this better. OpenCritic, they are like an aggregate, like kind of like Metacritic, an aggregate review site where they take a whole bunch of different reviews from everywhere and just compile it into one place.
Interesting. I've never heard of it.
Look at it. I hadn't either, actually.
I'll check it out.
But I have a little quote here, but it's basically saying they're taking a stand against microtransactions, or in parentheses, loot boxes.
Right.
OpenCritic, one of the biggest game review aggregation sites, is throwing its weight behind the ensuing uproar about microtransactions. The website announced on Twitter that it planned to take a stand against loot boxes, updating its display filters to warn customers of the nature of paid content in games. And that was by way of Polygon. So, just really interesting because, I was talking about, I don't know if you listened to that episode, but Steam did something with reviews where you can see how recent bad reviews have come in. so you have a better idea of how the game's changed, as well as to see where false reviews come in. People, if something political happens with a developer or they don't like something that happened in the game, a bunch of people will just go on and give it a ton of bad reviews,
right,
just so that game doesn't sell as well, which
right.
is pretty shitty. But this is cool because, again, this is another tool that people can actually use and see, like, okay, how many microtransactions are in this game? How volatile is it? Is it one of these pay-to-win situations where, like, if you pay more money, you'll get better gear faster, or you'll get all this stuff way quicker and be able to dominate for a long time?
Which is interesting considering our main topic, but continue.
Yeah, EA has an issue with this, and Battlefront recently also, too.
We're going to get into it.
Had some stuff about that. So, interesting nonetheless. Up next, a big announcement. Andrew House is officially leaving Sony. Andrew House, the president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, has stepped down from his post, ending a 27-year run at Sony. House started at Sony in 1990, helping to usher in the popularity of the PlayStation brand throughout his tenure. House became co-CEO of SIE and eventually sole CEO when Kaz Hirai, I can't say his name, Kaz Hirai, I'm pretty sure, got promoted to the head of the company in 2011, overseeing the PlayStation 4's meteoric rise over the last few years. And that is by way of Game Informer. Nothing really to say here about this, except for that's a big shift. Andrew House has been there for a long time, as you can see, pretty much since the PlayStation's inception. So best of luck to him, and I'm curious to see kind of what direction Sony takes. For me, if I'm thinking like just literally about this, my PlayStation isn't an exciting machine anymore. I don't know if that's just because we've had it for so long now. But how do you feel about your PlayStation as it stands right now?
I mean, it's getting to the point where we should be moving towards new consoles in the next couple of years. Maybe that's just because of our generation and we're always wanting something new. But even with the redesign with the PS4 Pro, was it? Mm-hmm. I didn't feel led to buy that.
Neither did I
at all. And I probably will never buy it unless mine breaks down on me for some reason.
Unless I get a 4K TV first, and
then
the
PlayStation you want
Pro.
The 4K TV.
But I think that says something. If you and I both never felt led to buy the PS4 Pro,
yeah,
I think that probably is a common consensus amongst their fan base. Like, if you have a PlayStation, and really none of the titles require you to have a PS4 Pro, there's not a real reason to upgrade.
Right.
Especially for me, like I like good-looking games, as we'll see with Battlefront 2. It's gorgeous, but if the game already looks really good on PS4, me, small-minded individual over here, can't see any reason to upgrade to a PS4 Pro because of that. I'm like, oh, this game looks amazing on my TV right now.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
They've done so much with this. Like, why would I need a 4K TV?
And plus, we're getting into that time in our lives where, like, I should really be more reasonable with my money, even though we spend it on stupid stuff from time to time.
Especially when you're unemployed.
Yeah. I mean, but I agree with you. If I really have no reason to upgrade my PS4, why would I?
Exactly.
I mean. I guess if you're a millionaire and you just have the money and you can have 10 PS4 Pros with 10 4K TVs, then by all means, go for it.
I wouldn't. Okay, yeah, if you're including the cost of the 4K TV, because I was like, I don't know if owning a PS4 makes you a millionaire.
No. I'm just saying, if you have the money to spend and upgrade, or if you make enough money to where you can just afford that kind of luxury upgrade, or I would say if you're a dead serious PS4 gamer, like you're doing recordings and stuff like that, I can see why.
Maybe one. It'll be worth your time.
Generally, for the average Joe, you don't want they don't want to upgrade. They don't care that much.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. We are in a state where people might be more money conscious now, and just something that they're just thinking about, like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
This is exciting, and I don't know how much I know you like Nintendo, so I actually don't mind telling you this. Whenever I have Josh on, he always says something about Nintendo. Nintendo is increasing its supply for the Nintendo Switch to 2 million units per month globally, according to a recent report from Digitimes. To meet popular demand, Nintendo is expected to reach an annual shipment target of 20 million units this year, and that's by way of Game Informer. So that's crazy.
Is that statistic that we talked about last time still as far as the sales go?
Yes.
I know it's still keeping up.
Still keeping up.
That's impressive.
Still having a hard time to for people in Japan to get the console, But what blows my mind is 20 million units in 1 year. And that's shipped. That doesn't mean sold.
Right.
So those numbers are different, obviously. They could.
But they're still seeing revenue off of those, even if they're not completely bought, right?
Yeah, they're seeing enough.
Selling it to a distributor.
Nintendo is a very conservative company. So for them to be shipping 20 million units, they obviously see demand for it, and they're like, okay, let's make more of these. We'll sell them by the holiday, and we're going to make a crap ton of money. And I think I just read today that Nintendo's stock price just passed Sony's stock price.
Well, then we should be investing.
Because that just so cool. So I'll keep reporting on how the Switch is doing, but that's really cool. And I agree. That's the reason I bought the PS4, because I just knew they were going to sell so much better, and they have, and so therefore more games come to it and more cool enhancements come their way because they have more flexibility to do that with the money they're making on it. So that's exciting. Next on the list, we have a fun one for any of those 90s millennial kids, but the Hey Arnold movie could lead to a continued TV series. This story comes by way of Polygon, and in it I think it's the director was saying this, but Hey Arnold, the Jungle movie, will tie up some of the classic Nickelodeon cartoons' 13-year-old loose ends when it premieres this November. But the cast and creator told Polygon during an interview at New York Comic Con that the TV movie will leave the door open for a new adventure, which they're desperate to tell with a full new season of episodes. I believe it's November 24th is when that airs, and it's just a TV movie. So kind of like the good old days when a random TV show would just have a movie that would just kind of advertise. Yeah. This is cool. I don't know if anybody actually watched Hey Arnold when they were growing up, but I did.
I did, yeah.
It was a great show. I like the jazz incorporation and just the, New York kids that just have fun playing baseball and doing cool things.
Absolutely.
So hopefully this
forever.
I'll probably end up watching this, but I can't tell you the last time I've watched Hey Arnold. So
I've dumped most of it from my memory, man. So
time to go back, catch up.
What was his best friend's name? The black
Gerald.
Kid? Gerald. Okay, I was thinking Jeremy.
It was Arnold, Gerald, Helga,
yeah,
Stinky, and I think Harold was the
had the
bully.
Stoop Kid.
Phoebe. I forget the girl's name that he liked. That was one of the episodes.
Yeah.
You like somebody, but if you like somebody, then it's serious. So either way, exciting. But then our last bit of news here: esports shows are coming to Hulu. This comes by way of GameSpot saying 4 esports series will stream exclusively on Hulu later this fall. Each will be produced by the ESL. I think that means
Esports League?
Esports League, yeah, probably Entertainment Sports League, I don't know. And will range from shorter podcast-style discussions to more in-depth documentaries. These series are Player versus Player, a talk show, Boot Camp, which follows competitive CSGO teams, The Immortals, Defining Moments, on which experts will analyze a different topic each week, and the ESL Replay, which will recap 4 CSGO, Dota 2, and PUBG tournaments from October through December. That's it. Which is pretty cool. So this is actually a bigger announcement than it actually sounds like. The fact that Hulu, Hulu is a streaming service. It's not big cable yet.
Right.
But I know they already have stuff on ESPN. But just the fact that more streaming services are hopping on this train to try and get more people, more viewers in is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that PUBG stands for Player Unknown Battlegrounds, for those of you who don't. I know isn't there a rumor that's coming on to PS4?
Eventually.
Or is it coming to PS4?
I know it's coming.
I really want it to.
It's coming to Xbox first.
Shoot.
So if we get it, it's going to be a while, and at that point, there's probably going to be a better version of PUBG out somewhere else.
Or maybe they're just like, the Xbox can have the crappy version. We'll save the good version for the PS4, which comes out in 2 years.
Sometimes that happens. I love when definitive editions come out, because it's like Xbox gets it first, and then they remaster it and give you all the DLC and all the stuff that comes with the game from the get-go for the same price.
Right.
On PlayStation, you're like, oh, okay, well, I just got the better version of the game a little bit later. That's fine.
I always catch myself watching PUBG videos on Facebook, and I just
they're everywhere.
I think it's so cool, such a cool concept. I know Grant plays it quite a bit. Shout out to Grant.
Grant Vickers
for playing some PUBG.
Shout out at the 21-minute mark.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that you see everywhere because so many people play it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was any sort of a PC gamer, I would absolutely look into it. And I think my Mac could run it, but I just don't want to be that guy that plays PC games on his Mac. So I'm just not going to do it just to save myself the embarrassment. But anyways.
Well, you can't play a PC game on a Mac, right?
Well,
it has to be oriented for a Mac.
Steam, though.
Even if it's on Steam, it still has to be a Mac game.
Oh, dear. So maybe even PUBG isn't available on Mac. I think it is.
It could be. But if you look on Steam, it'll have a Windows signal or icon and an Apple logo, So
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Just again, goes showing you I don't know anything about computer games. So
those computer games, these kids today are rotting their brains.
And on that note, we are going to be jumping into our main topic. Be right back. And we're back. I'm getting really good at that. That intro.
I hope you continue to work on it.
And we're back. So we are going to be talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2, and specifically the beta, because that was available this past week for anybody to try and play. People that pre-ordered got to try it out for a few days earlier, but overall, it was available on all platforms, and I was able to get my hands on it and just try it for a few hours. Unfortunately, our friend Cameron over here was not able to do that. So we will have two differing perspectives on this, but I think it'll still be pretty cool to talk about. So I'll open this up with what I played and what my thoughts are.
Okay.
Again, EA / I don't know if DICE has a hand in this or not, but
who is the game developer behind it? It's not. I know DICE has part of the studio or something,
or like
but it starts with a P, maybe.
No one really knows. Either way,
it's something besides DICE.
The game looks fantastic. The game sounds fantastic. And the game has just a lot of art and assets from the Star Wars games that, again, they've paid immaculate detail to, and you can really see that.
And then you have the advantage of having the Frost engine from DICE and Battlefield, of course.
Yep.
Which is what it's all based on. But
so
the gameplay looks unreal.
So opening thoughts on this, like I love the class. I love the class structure. That's fun. Where you can play as different types of classes. So I forget the actual ones, but it is assault,
heavy, officer, and
specialist. Mm-hmm. And they're all cool, honestly. The officer looked really lame when I first saw it. I was like, I don't want to play as an officer. Like, he has a little pistol. This sucks. Yep. But the pistol's actually pretty strong.
Okay.
And he has the ability to lay down sentries, which are really helpful. And then also he can increase damage for all of his teammates. And I forget what his other perks are, but that's what I liked. Like, each class has specific things that are beneficial to your team, and they really try to incentivize you to stay with your squad the entire time. So you have a 4-man squad, and you want to try and stay around them to get stat buffs, and I think you also get more experience for the time spent with your squad.
Good.
So they kind of like say, hey, if you stick together, you'll actually earn experience. You should do that. And the huge thing that I think really changes from the first one is that it's no longer this random token thing where you just find the crap on the battlefield and you hope that you can get to the token in time to be a Jedi or a Sith or get the ship that you want. You earn it over time. So if you play well in the game, you'll earn a certain amount of tokens or points in the match.
It's like a kill streak almost.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sort of. It's literally you just
point streak.
Yeah, you earn points. And then with those points, every time you die, you'll go back to the main, loading hub, and you can choose to spend those points to get like a really good ship. And like the more points you have, obviously, the better of a thing you can unlock. So like all the Jedis and like the main characters are a lot of points, and like even in like the air battle or like assault stuff, it's going to be the same concept. It's like a lot of points to get the slave one.
Do you know if you lose those points after a game ends, or do you get to keep those and carry those over to the next game?
So after a game ends, they go back to 0. So you build all the points up through the game, and you can kind of spend them as you go. That way, you're incentivized to spend them when you want.
Yeah. Also, kind of be like overpowering if someone was able to
rack up points,
go into a game and
immediately have
get
the strongest
Darth Maul
guy,
or Qui-Gon Jinn or whoever.
Mm-hmm. So they've done a lot of stuff to the systems that I think really make it a better game.
Okay.
However, it didn't feel different enough to where I was like, wow, this is awesome, you know. And maybe it was just like because I had a little bit of time with it and really couldn't get. It was kind of confusing. Like it's you know, because it's a beta. I think they don't want to waste as much time trying to explain everything because obviously if you have the beta, they probably assume that you're a person who cares enough to play the beta, that you understand video games. But it didn't. It was a lot to handle at first. There was like a lot of classes and like you don't really know what anything does until you try it in the game. Some of the modes were a little confusing as to what to do, and controlling ships in this was really, really weird. It was a steep learning curve, kind of like all Battlefield games are.
Yeah, it's if you ever played Battlefield 4, what was it, 3 and 4, and try to fly a helicopter in either one of those games, and if you do not take the time to learn, you are just going to instantly go whoop.
Exactly, and it sucks when you spend your damn points on getting a badass ship and then you crash it immediately. You're like, well, that was a waste.
Hopefully they'll do the smart thing of having like Battlefield had a like the firing range or shooting range or something like that, where you could go into and they had every vehicle of the game, and so you could just spend and that's how I learned to fly the helicopter. I would go in there and just spend 5 minutes flying around, just kind of practicing. So
I still wish it was like the model where the ships would just show up in game, and you could just walk to them and hop in and fly it out.
Yeah, that would be good too. But
it just makes it feel more realistic. Like, oh crap! Like I'm here on the grounds, and there's a giant ship right here. I have to walk inside of and like get in the cockpit and go. Like that'd be kind of cool. But either way, it's it's a cool game. I don't know. I'll go through the modes real quick. So there's Strike, which is essentially like their domination mode, where like you have to go and like hold down a certain point. And this one was standard multiplayer match, just team based. And then they had Galactic Assault, which was your standard giant mode with all the ships, and it's like objective based where you're moving through a map. And this one was specifically the assault on, I think, Naboo.
Yeah, it was on Naboo. The map, something with a T. I can't remember the name of it.
I forget what it's called also. But in this mode specifically, I noticed that like the attacking side, if you were trying to infiltrate, it was damn near impossible to win. Like that, I don't think any of the attacking sides ever won a match that we played.
Interesting.
Because like as defense, you basically just have to kill people the entire time. That's it.
Right.
Whereas the attacking team has objectives that they have to go to and try to take out the drone transport. I forget what it's called. MTT. Yeah. What is it? I forget what it stands for.
I'd have to Google it. I don't remember.
But yeah, it's really cool.
It's the droid tank from episode 1. If you don't remember those big brown things that kind of look like a handbag.
Yeah, it's just a giant brown handbag with guns on it moving through the entire city, and it's really cool because you shoot these ion guns at it to take down its shields, and then everyone can shoot it real fast and take away some of its health.
Nice.
And the ion guns are available at all times in the map, so you have to like run to those guns, get them, run to the ship to get it in sight, and then like lock onto it. It takes like 5 seconds to shoot the gun. So that was cool. And I loved that setting. Actually, I loved being able to play as the droids, and they're just so goofy. But like you can wreck with a droid. It's just funny. Like in the movie, they're so wimpy and like they get wrecked by Jedis immediately.
Kind of stupid. Yeah.
But you're basically just playing as a droid half the time, or you're playing as a clone trooper on the other side.
Right.
So that was really cool. I like the big scale aspect of that again. But again, like using the ships was impossible. Like using the ship, they're so fast that like you can't like slow down and actually like lock onto the MTT and even try to damage it. Like by the time they shoot it with an ion gun, like maybe it's because you have to like coordinate with your team and say, okay, someone take out the thing. I have my ship. I'm gonna come loop back around and let me know when you're about to fire so I can lock onto it and shoot stuff at it.
Right.
But that wasn't. I was playing by myself, so it was just like anytime they would actually take the shields down, I'd be like trying to turn my ship around. I'm like, what the shit am I doing? like turning upside down on accident.
What kind of ship did you have?
I forget what it's called, but it's the yellow, the famous like yellow and silver one.
Oh yeah, the one that looks like a fish of sorts.
Yeah, it has like a stingray sort of.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Naboo fighter, whatever we'll call it that.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I had the Lego set for it.
It's a really cool ship. And I was like, this is awesome, but it was so
Nice.
fast I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't lock on or kill anybody. So I was like, well, okay. And that was the problem too. Like the the map itself was so there's just buildings everywhere, so like everyone has cover, so it's really hard to kill people too, like
From a ship.
from the ship. Yeah. So really, there's no point to hop in the ship in that map. But
did it have a bombing ability, or did it only have like a laser? Okay.
it had missiles and lasers, and then like I think a healing thing, like the droid could recharge you. And then the last mode was Starfighter Assault, and this is just a standard, ship battle, which is really, I thought was actually pretty well done, pretty cool. And that's where I got a little better at flying the ship, because I felt like I was not trying to hit people on the ground. I could at least aim at ships and take them out. But yeah, again, it's objective based, where like one team is attacking, one team is defending. And this one actually I feel like was pretty balanced, but even still, I think defending is pretty tough. You're the Empire trying to defend your Star. Oh gosh, what are they called? It's the giant triangles. The giant triangles.
Star Destroyer?
Yeah, Star Destroyer.
Okay.
Yeah, your Star Destroyer is mounted on like some base, and you're trying to defend it from the rebels, and it's really cool.
Interesting.
Like you're trying to like the rebels are flying in, like you actually fly into this giant ship and like try to take out these shield generators, and then once you take those out, then you can go to the bottom and take out this other thing, and in the meantime, like in between like some sort of things happening on the ship, there's like you have to just fight off the TIE fighters and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, and that was really cool. I had fun doing that. And it never really felt like you were underpowered. Either side you could fly around and still feel like you could take people
That's
out.
X-Wings versus TIE fighters.
Mhm.
Okay.
Slave One, Millennium Falcon,
Nice.
and I think you could also have Darth Maul's Scimitar.
Ooh,
which is
that
pretty
thing was
cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
I had the Lego version of that too.
Dude, so many Legos.
Dude, I had like every Star Wars Lego. Man, I fucking love those things.
So it was cool. It was. I really I liked those two modes a lot. But again, just coming back to the fundamentals of the game, I mean, it still very much feels like Battlefront.
Okay.
Which could be good or bad.
From what I read, I mean, that's kind of the general consensus was, yeah, they've added some more stuff, but at the base level, it still feels the exact same as the original or the old Battlefront, you know, and so that's kind of concerning to me, because really it wasn't a whole lot of fun to run around and shoot people with blasters. I mean, it just, I don't know. It was kind of strange. It didn't seem like it was, you would think that as huge Star Wars fans, we'd be like all over, as you wear your Star Wars shirt. I just noticed that. You think we'd be all over that, but yeah, I remember playing the original one. I was like, God, this is just not that much fun.
It's really cool being in that world, but I think maybe the issue that we're having is like lasers don't really they don't give that impact feeling. Like they aren't snappy. So like with a normal gun, like in Battlefield 4 or Battlefield or whatever, when you shoot at somebody, you feel
some energy.
There's that impact. You're like, okay, like I hit that person and they're dead.
Yeah.
Whereas with the laser, it's like and you're like, you might not kill them, or you might, and it just kind of just depends. And maybe they'll fix a little bit of that. They'll tweak it. I mean, this is just the beta still, so
right. I mean, you remember last year, Battlefield 1, the beta was okay.
Pretty buggy, yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'm gonna have to give the because I love Battlefield. If I didn't say that already, I have to give the game a try, and the game is awesome. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I don't play it a ton because I don't have a lot of time to, but I still really enjoy it. And I think I agree with you that whenever you pull the trigger on Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 1 or whatever, you get a sense of satisfaction out of that impact, out of that gun kind of recoiling into you and all that. It's cool. And so whenever you're shooting a laser gun that's kind of stagnant, it doesn't really do much. It's just kind of like, that was cool. And it should, with a laser weapon, theoretically, you should feel a bigger impact than with a standard
you're shooting guys with lasers.
Gun. Yeah.
Now, obviously, in real life, you wouldn't feel that impact, but it's just maybe it's just the way the game is designed, or something like that. Maybe like the rumble feature, I just didn't notice. Okay. But yeah, I mean, with games like Call of Duty and Battlefield 1, there's a sense of like impact and contact.
Right.
And you're like, I
you
hit that
some
person.
sort of gratification out
I got him.
pulling that trigger.
Even in Destiny, actually, they kind of got that down. Where if you hit somebody, there's like a tick noise. It's like click in the back, like you're like, okay, cool, I hit that person. Yeah. And then in Battlefront 2, it's kind of much the same as the first one, where you're like, I'm hitting this guy, but he's still alive, so I don't even know.
To that point, the laser weapon, a little off subject, but relates. The laser weapon that I have in Destiny right now, I don't enjoy shooting it. It's a great gun, but I don't enjoy shooting it as much as I do the auto rifle.
Because you don't like getting impact.
I like that pound. I
Yeah.
like that pounding noise.
Yeah.
So, hey,
Yeah, when you're hitting them.
we
Yeah.
figured it out.
There you go. It's just something that laser guns can't fix, I guess. So, I put a bunch of things here. We've already talked about a lot of this. I'm going to wait to see what the reviews look like for this game to check it out. Because, I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I think it'll be a fun game regardless. Yeah. But it unfortunately already has the feeling of the first one, so I feel like I will play it just like I played the first one.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, this was cool. Played it for a few hours, I'm done. However, the big difference is the campaign in this one.
Yes.
Which we didn't get a chance to play, but looks very, very good.
Yeah, I've seen the videos for it. It looks cool.
That could be a game changer. Being able to have a single-player component attached to this where you're like, oh, okay. Like, I played the single-player campaign, played a few hours of multiplayer, good game, I'm done. Who knows?
Yeah, you're also looking at, so November 17th is when Battlefront 2 comes out. In that time frame, you're also looking at Call of Duty World War II. So that's going to be a toss-up for me where I can definitely tell you right now I'm leaning more towards Call of Duty World War II.
That game, that is the first Call of Duty in a long time that I've actually been like, that looks great. That looks really good. Like, I'm excited about this game.
I'm super excited about it.
So,
sorry, Battlefront.
And if we're looking at shooters right now, it's Destiny up until that point, and then probably Call of Duty.
Yeah. Isn't there something else that's coming out at the beginning of November?
Well, Mario Odyssey comes out October 27th, which I'm really excited about. That game already, I think, one review already leaked, and I think they gave it a perfect score. So I'm like, yes. But also Wolfenstein 2.
Oh, yes, I do.
Comes out
See, I do want to play
October.
Wolfenstein just because I love the lore behind it.
Mm-hmm. October.
Did you ever play any of the older games?
Mm-mm. Okay. I want to play the newest one. I believe I might already have it on my PlayStation.
It probably came out for free at some point.
I feel like it was free once, yeah.
The story is decent. The older games were super good. Yeah. Super, super good.
BJ Blazkowicz or something like that?
BJ Blazkowicz, yeah.
Something like that.
Something Jewish last name. Polish last name, sorry. He's probably a Jew as well.
Come on, man. PC.
No, I mean, I'm being serious. I think he is. I think that's like
Polish,
part of his whole thing.
Well, yeah, he has to be Jewish if he was killing a bunch of Nazis.
Yeah.
That's perfect. What were you saying though? Oh yeah, so yeah, I mean, with Wolfenstein 2, Call of Duty competing at the end of the month here.
What about Far Cry? New Far Cry? That we still got ways off for that. I know Red Dead Redemption's a ways off, but
I'm excited about that too. Yeah, usually in the fall is when a bunch of good games come out. So November is synonymous with Call of Duty usually coming out. So that'll be a big one for people. But yeah, we'll see how this is because I was impressed with the changes they made. It definitely felt like more of a multiplayer game where I was like, okay, like I feel myself making progress and I'm doing this. I don't like the star card system.
That's one thing we forgot to talk about that's been the huge complaint on every forum. I read Polygon, I read GameSpot, I read Game Informer.
The DLC or
people hate this new
monetization.
This new microtransaction. This is going back to what we were talking about earlier. That's the biggest complaint so far, and they're saying kind of what you were alluding at as far as if you spend money, you can get better stuff, which is completely unfair for game companies to do. I mean, that's just, you're buying a product expecting it to be a finished product, so at least that they put these betas out there so that people can see this stuff in the beginning. But still, you shouldn't have to do that.
The product is finished. The product is finished. The issue that they're having right now is that there's a huge disconnect between getting a loot box in this game or just paying for them.
And it's easier to pay for them.
I only unlocked like 2 or 3, and there's not always a guarantee you're going to get a good card out of it.
Yeah.
However, to unlock those loot boxes, it takes a while. It takes a while to like level up and like, okay, play the specialist, get this many kills in this game with this type of class, and you'll unlock one box for it. Or you could just go the easy route and just buy everything up front. And like, I was getting wrecked by guys that had all their star cards already. And I was like, I had only unlocked like 1 or 2, and I was like, well, damn.
Yeah. It's the same way with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and you can see how that game went over. So take notes, EA. We're not joking. It's a crappy thing to do to people, and they won't appreciate it.
It's too bad. And, like, you know, there's a whole intro trailer for this game. Like, when you just download it off the store, John Boyega's there, and he's talking to you about why this game's so much better. He's like, thank you for downloading Star Wars Battlefront 2. Here's why you're going to like this game. And then I was like, Michael Caine. But he basically, they're trying to, like, upplay, like, oh, it's a much bigger game than the first one. It's like, that's not saying much when your first game wasn't really anything. But I understand that marketing standpoint. But they were basically saying, like, there's more ships, there's more characters, there's more weapons. But it's
there
like,
definitely needed to be more weapons. And can you? Another thing I was going to ask you, and I didn't see this online. They talked a little bit about the guns, but can you customize the guns at all?
Yeah. But again, I don't even know. I forget how you customize them. I didn't have too much of a chance to mess around with that either. I unlocked one of the attachments for the gun, but, like, yeah, there's different things you can get for it, like different scopes.
Because I definitely love attachments on guns. That gives you a lot more. You know, in the last game, it was just kind of, here's a gun, whatever it comes on it. And the thing is you couldn't shoot that gun before you bought it, so you had no idea what you were getting
Hopefully
into.
this is good.
Yeah, hopefully this gun is good. Or you just wasted however many freaking star points or whatever.
Or you go online and you're just like, what's the best gun in Battlefront?
Just save it for that.
That's usually what I do.
Oh, you're smarter than I am, obviously.
But yeah, it's kind of a bummer because if you can customize your own gun, you do feel a sense of ownership. You're like, you feel more attached to that weapon. You're like, oh, cool. Like, I got the sight for this. I got the new extended mags, and I feel like I'm just gonna wreck people with this because I know this gun.
Right.
And Destiny actually has done a good job of that. Like, where it's not super customizable. You
can trade out the scopes. You can do a little bit.
Change the scopes, change the mags, and then, like, you know, you can roll them to get different abilities on them. Like this one has, I forget what mine has, like Ravage or it's a Rampage. It's a really good one where your damage will multiply for each kill you get. So it's like 1, then 2, then 3, and so then it's like really strong if you keep on killing people with it. So
cool,
pretty dope.
I like that.
So yeah, I mean, if you're looking at Battlefront 2 and you're a Star Wars fan, I think definitely keep your eye on it. I think the single player campaign alone hopefully should justify the purchase this time around. But again, it still feels like the original one. So we'll watch out for that.
Yeah. Right now, are you gonna buy this? I'm a no for right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
It's gonna be Call of Duty for me in November. So
Call of Duty first, depending on reviews, and then because there's games that I know I'm gonna buy without even looking at reviews, like Mario Odyssey, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Red Dead,
exactly.
Far Cry, just because I love Far Cry.
Exactly.
I hope they so they're bringing wingsuits back. I know this is once again off subject.
Wingsuits are hilarious.
They're bringing wingsuits back for the new one, and I was like, that alone is enough, because I freaking loved Far Cry.
That was the best part of Far Cry 4.
Hilarious. It's just flying down the side of a mountain, and you smack into a tree.
Like,
and I'd go flying by you.
I mean,
hang on, I gotta find a spot to jump off of.
Those first couple of weeks playing Far Cry, just me, you, and I think did Brock have it for a little bit too?
Maybe.
Mainly it was just me and you playing, and I had a blast.
It was hilarious.
Just taking out a few base camps and like having different methods, like trying to be stealth and then getting spotted, like, oh shit, and it's like just like blowing everything up.
It's a good time.
It was really cool.
Way off topic. Sorry.
You're good. So yeah, I mean, I was talking about reviews, but with games like these that are kind of more seasonal or you're going to see more often, I will probably look up reviews. I'm like,
I mean, we still have I guarantee you there will be a Star Wars Battlefront 3. We know we've got one more movie because it's always trilogies.
If Disney's running this, they're going to do it for sure.
Oh, they're gonna crank it. They're gonna crank this.
And once again, I just thought of this. This is coming out before the movie, so obviously they're getting that hype going.
Yep, this is all just and I'm sure they're gonna make way more money combined with this and the movie than they would the movie.
Disney
alone,
is sons of bitches.
They know what they're doing. I wonder, do they have any stake in EA at all?
I don't know.
Surely they do. If they're buying the rights for some of the stuff, they've got to have some sort of stake in it somewhere.
It would make sense. It would definitely make sense.
Yeah.
Well, anything else left to say about Star Wars?
No, that's really it.
All right. Well, I guess that is the end of our podcast. Remember that BitCast is a weekly podcast that covers most things video games and pop culture. Cameron, thanks so much for being on the show.
Not a problem, man. I enjoyed it as always.
Absolutely. It actually didn't get too hot in here.
No, it's not too bad.
The air kicked back on again, so that was good.
That was nice.
Remember, if you're a listener, check out bitbloggist.com where you can see all of our content collected in one place. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter or Instagram at BitBloggist. That is BitBloggist. And be sure to send emails to bitcast@bitbloggist.com if you want your topic right up on the show.
Please do.
Until next time, this has been BitCast. Thanks for tuning in. Talk about some stuff.